Hey there, I'm Genny Perez. I'm a wife, mom, and small business owner. And although I love being all of those things, I'm at the point where I feel like there's something more to life outside of those roles. Does that sound like you? If you're in search of that extra magic, craving a dose of positivity, purpose, and real talk on being worthy, capable, and able, you're in the right place. Let's kick off this journey together, ignite that spark, radiate some positivity, and discover what makes your life and business truly shine. Ready to jump in? Let's spark some radiance together. Hi, and welcome back to the Sparking Radiance podcast. And I'm Genny Perez. Can I just say that I am so proud of so many of you that reached out to me, messaged me, and in response to episode 1 and just said, hey, Genny, I'm on this journey with you. Let's go. Hey, Genny, I'm going to start this. I'm taking step 1 and here's my reason why. I'm excited, guys. I am absolutely excited because I am excited to just continue on this growth path with you. I took step 1 and a lot of you are taking step 1 with me as well in your own ways. And again, if you feel that you have grown from episode 1, let's dive into episode 2 and make sure to share with somebody because you may know somebody that is looking for that spark, that is yearning for that spark, and they're waiting to radiate. You may know somebody that has a light that's being dimmed right now. And this is our opportunity to encourage them and water them and pour into them and let them know that it's time for their light to shine. And this is where they're going to be able to do that through the Sparking Radiance podcast. All right, here we are, episode 2. And I battled with this one here, but I feel that I'm not the only one that's feeling this way. And this episode is going to be titled The Power of Letting Go. And it's come to me because I think a lot of times when we think of letting go, we associate it with some form of loss, right? It's a negative letting go. You lose something of value. But we're going to look at it differently. We're going to look at it in the sense of we're not losing something. We're going to have a reverse on that. And we have to think about what we are going to gain. Because anytime you lose something, there is always something to gain. And I'm going to say this again, because I think the message of the power of letting go, I want to give you a few seconds to think about what it is that you need to let go of. And I'm going to say it again and I'm going to pause because I want you to fill in the blank. I need to let go of. And I think this message has been weighing on my heart because in my own life, and I'm going to go over some examples of what letting go looks like. But even in my own life, I've had this challenge of I have to let go of things in order to gain things. So let's talk about some of the things that we can let go of, right? And here's where it's uncomfortable to let go because when we let go, we have to embrace change. And in order for change to happen, there has to be letting go. Something is letting go. Something is going to change. I don't like that. Delete that. Let me say that again. I'm letting go of. When we let go, we have to understand that in order for us to gain something, we have to embrace change. With letting go, there is always going to be change, and we have to embrace it in order to see what we are going to gain. For some of us, letting go of old beliefs and habits. Let's talk about that for a second, right? We talked about it in episode 1, right? Our mindset, our limiting beliefs, our fear, our unworthiness, our lack of self-confidence, letting go of those beliefs and those habits. What do we gain from letting go? Well, that one's an obvious, right? By letting go of those gains, we grow, we change, we don't stay stuck in our ways. We have a heightened awareness of what is hindering us from growth, right? So some of us, the message for you today is, hey, let go of that limiting belief. Let go of that self-doubt that I have within myself, that I'm holding myself back, right? Letting go of the fact to think that I have to be prepared, that I have to be perfect, that I have to have all of the answers. I'm telling you right now that you don't. Letting go of that limiting belief will allow you to gain in return growth. Absolutely growth, 100%. Because you're not going to know unless you try. You're not going to know unless you do. So if you let go of that limiting belief, you're going to gain growth. And for some of us, this is going to be a little touchy for some of us, right? Because I think it's a little personal. And I think it'll resonate with a lot of you. And it definitely resonates with me for sure. But letting go of toxic relationships. I've kind of come across the, just my experience with dealing with people and relationships, whether it be family, friends, business, personal. What is that initial feeling when I look at my phone and I get that call from that person? What is the first thought that comes to mind? What do I feel? And sometimes, over time, our relationships with people will change and they will evolve. And in some cases, they become toxic, right? When you walk through the door and I feel a certain way, or when I see my phone ringing, it triggers me to feel a certain way. It could be a toxic relationship, and toxic relationships will manifest themselves in different forms, right? Like some of us have, unfortunately, toxic relationships with our family members, and unfortunately for a lot of us, that is our number one source of anxiety, right? Some of us have toxic business relationships where, working styles may be different, business views may be different, but they're toxic. What do we gain from letting go of that relationship? Well, some we can't let go of, right? Like our family, for example, those are nearly impossible to let go of. However, what I do believe is that there is with letting go of power, there's a part in there where we're letting go of their power over us and what we are aware of what they do or say that triggers us, right? To take us down the toxic relationship route. That we do have control of. What we allow our family to do to us, to what we tolerate, what expectation we put in place, right? When it comes to business relationships, sometimes it is necessary, right? It is necessary for the benefit of the business. It is necessary for the benefit of your sanity. The funny thing is that I believe that sometimes we have a toxic relationship with ourselves, right? What are we telling ourselves during the day? What are we talking with ourselves? What words of encouragement are we giving ourselves? So sometimes it's letting go of our inner voice of what we allow ourselves to tell ourselves. That in itself can be toxic as well. But what I'm trying to say with letting go of toxic relationships, whether it be with our family, friends, business, or within ourselves, is that let's look at it from a different perspective. What do we gain by letting go? One of the things that I know that we gain is that we gain peace of mind. We gain the ability to adapt to change and bounce back. And by letting go, rather than dwelling on what went wrong, we learn to accept circumstances that are beyond our control, and we focus on moving forward with strength and determination. And when it comes to the relationships, what we gain As we let go of past hurts, we forgive others. We forgive ourselves, right? We forgive ourselves for telling ourselves those lies, feeding our own selves those lies. We free up new space for more positive relationships to enter in our life. So letting go of toxic relationships, I'm going to say that again, it frees up space for more positive relationships to enter into our lives. This one hits home for me. This one resonates with me in the stage that I'm in my life right now, and that is letting go of control. And when I say control, as a mother, as a business owner, let me just point it from a mother's perspective. And I think, as women, we wear multiple hats. And we have these high expectations of ourselves. And we have this societal pressure, right? We see these perfect moms on Instagram. We see these perfect business women and moms on Instagram. And I think that we create this facade or this expectation of where we should be. But in reality, by doing that, we're not in the present. And we try to control and manipulate everything in our power. But I say this with letting go of control, because by letting go of control, we gain so much more. And I'll give you a perfect example here in my household. I'm constantly evolving on this one, and it's been a journey for me. But I take the position of, if it's not done by me, it's not done right, and that is so limiting to me. Because what does that do? That puts the pressure on me to make sure that it's done, right? Keeping me away from being present with my children. And I'll give you a perfect example, feeling that I am the one that has to clean everything. I am the one that has to make sure that the house looks a certain way, or that my children look a certain way, lunches are made a certain way. And what I've kind of let go of, guys, I'm being 100% honest, is I've let go of the things that I don't necessarily have to control, right? What am I going to gain if I have somebody come to my house and help me clean those restrooms? What am I going to gain if it's okay if I let my child eat lunch from the cafeteria, if they choose to, right? I gain time. I gain energy. I gain effort back. That is such a huge gain. And I think as mothers, I think that we have to control everything. And we think, and I'll talk a little bit more down next about perfectionism and comparison to others, but I think that we think that by us controlling everything, that it's going to be done correctly. But what I'm trying to say, and I know my words are kind of all over the place, but if I'm speaking to you, you're hearing this and you're saying, Genny, that's me. I feel like I have to control everything in my household. I am being 100% honest with you and saying this is a battle for me, but no, you don't. And you're going to gain much more when you let go of control. Let go of the fact that your house does not have to be perfect. It doesn't. It does not. Your house just has to be lived and loved in. That is what you gain when you let go of control of having a perfect household. When it comes to business, and I see this a lot with small business owners and entrepreneurs and people who are super driven, and even in their careers, right? If you're a career person and you feel the need to control, if you're in a management or a leadership position, you feel the need to control. And I think from a business perspective, there's a couple of ways, and we could probably do a whole episode on business and control and leadership and, having faith in your employees and things like that. But letting go of control as a small business owner, what does that gain you? It gains you trust within your trust within your organization or your business, right? You are delegating something to somebody else, and you're putting trust and faith in them, and they are going to reciprocate the fact that you are trusting in them. So they're going to do their best. What you gain from that, being able to delegate a task and lose a little bit of control, is you gain time back, and you gain their trust as an employee and the loyalty, right? I recently, and I'll share this with you, I recently felt that I had to be involved in every aspect of the business. And what I've realized is that that's not necessary. And it doesn't grow the business, because what happens is, if we're in 100% control, that means that the business is 100% functional or operational based on my efforts. But if I delegate tasks, if I let go of things, I then share the growth, or I share the responsibility of the business with others, or employees, or staff around me, other team members, right? And it's not 100% dependent on me. And that gives me the opportunity to have a little bit of flexibility with time, because I know we'll still, as a goal together, collectively, we'll achieve a goal or a result. So again, with letting go of control, what are we gaining? We're gaining back time, energy, and effort. And I think down the line on a business piece, I think this is something that we can continue to drive in on. This is just a general episode about letting go and different examples, but any one of these, like, honestly, guys, we can probably do a full episode on just the discussion of that. And if that's something that you want to do, if there's a certain topic that you want me to talk about, I'm all open to hearing your suggestions and feedback. I think we can all relate to the next one, and that's the power of letting go of perfection or our comparison to others. And this is in our day and age, right? With social media, the internet, television, radio, podcasting, business, anything. We see perfection. We see edited photos of people. We see perfect households. We see businesses that are thriving, that are producing X amount of sales or attracting X amount of customers. But what I don't like about that is it's not 100% of the truth. We don't know the backstory, right? It's one thing to see it in person, but it's another thing to see it online. And just keep in mind, when we let go of the thought of perfection, we let go of the power of comparing ourselves to others. And a lot of times, and this is why I kind of went down this personal growth journey, was because a lot of what I found was I was comparing myself to, and this is very common, you'll hear this, you're comparing yourselves to their chapter 20. You're on chapter 1. It's not part of your story. Your story is going to look differently. But we have the tendency to compare ourselves to the results of others, not knowing what it took to get them there, right? What goes on behind the scenes. We don't see that because that's not attractive. That doesn't attract people. What attracts people is the results. But when we let go of the tendency to think that it has to be perfect, and I kind of touched on this in the episode 1, where when we let go of being perfect, we actually get a little bit more of results. And the reason why is because results is better than perfect results. And I preach that to myself, right? Like this podcast is a perfect example. It's not perfect, and I don't want it to be, because if it was perfect, that wouldn't exist. It wouldn't have gotten done. I would have held myself back from doing it, and I wouldn't have been able to have this time with you. But letting go of perfection, for some of you, you may think, I haven't started this because I need this and this and this and this to line up. No, you don't. You just need one step forward. And we talked about that in episode 1. But letting go of comparing ourselves to others. Keep in mind that you are on this universe because you are uniquely and wonderfully and perfectly made, right? By the Creator, your God, your universe. There is no one on this earth like you. You may tell a story and have an experience that would be completely different to another person. and have a different result or a different outcome. And I just want you to understand that letting go of perfection and comparison to others, what you gain from that is you gain back your self-worth. You gain back your gift, your uniqueness and your gift that God has given you. So stop. I know it's hard because it's in our face all the time, right? But I'm here to tell you that you are uniquely and perfectly made. And by letting go, you gain back your self-worth. The next one is letting go of fear. And again, we can do a whole episode. And I say episodes because it can be multiple on fear. Fear in itself. And we touched a little bit about that, last time. But what do we gain when we let go of fear? We gain confidence. We gain acceptance. We gain worth, our self-worth. But letting go of fear, what do we gain? We gain peace of mind. We gain a positive outlook on life. We gain appreciation for beauty and abundance that surround us. But yes, I'm going to touch on this one briefly because I think I can do a lot more on this one because I struggle with this one. But when I let go of fear, I also gain confidence. I gain self-worth. There's so much more that I can gain. I also want to talk on, because it is the beginning of year and some of us need to hear like letting go of the things that cause us damage internally, right? Like letting go of junk food. For me, I live a very busy life, letting go of fast food, letting go of alcohol, all of these things that I know, just like my toxic relationships and letting go of those, these are toxic things that I put inside my body. For some of us, we need to hear letting go of those toxic things that we place in ourselves. What do we gain? We gain better health. We gain a better mind. We gain the physical benefits to our body, right? We gain a clearer vision. We gain energy, right? I know you know this, but certain things that you eat and do will affect how you feel. If I have a big heavy dinner one night and then I'm expected to wake up and bounce back the next morning, well, that's not going to happen because I've put these things in my body that are toxic. And I think some of us need to hear, maybe it's us letting go of junk food, but we gain, and gaining, control of our feelings and our emotions and in our lives, and gaining our health back, right? Again, I have a lot of people, I know a lot of people in this space and I think they'll be able to add value to us, but just letting go of something as simple as junk food, you can always put a spin on that and what am I going to gain? For some of us, it's letting go of our careers, letting go of our business ventures, right? What do you gain by doing that? You gain new opportunities. You gain the abundance to embrace change for growth. These are just so many examples, and I briefly touch on these examples because we're going to go down this journey of exploring more. My main purpose for this message today was just to tell you that sometimes it's okay to walk away from things. And sometimes there is so much power in letting go. And letting go is not a negative thing. If anything, letting go is actually a positive in the sense that it can help us reduce stress and anxiety. There are so many benefits because it's not about what we are going to lose. We have to look at it as what are we going to gain? Are we going to gain energy, time, clarity? Are we going to gain new friends and family, right? Like when we let go of toxic relationships or business partners. Are we going to gain new opportunities? If we let go of our businesses or, our chosen career paths. Are we going to gain focus? Are we going to gain joy? Are we going to gain peace? Guys, when you let go of something, you are always going to gain something else. So again, I'm going to pause because I'm speaking to you and you're listening. And I want you to say, I am letting go of. And the first thing that comes to your mind, that is then the thing that you are going to look at and say, but Genny, this is what I gain. So here's our activity. And this is how I want us to implement the power of letting go. Okay. Step number 1, what we're going to do is we're going to take an audit of things in our life right now. So that thing that you thought of letting go, what I want you to do is I want you to think of the time in your life when you wished for what you had. Okay. You wished for it. You prayed for it. You went actively and pursued it. Take audit of what you have in your life now. And the reason why is because I want you to pause. The second step is to pause. And the reason why is because whatever it is that you have, whether it be career success, a family, business success, powerful relationships, you had to have some kind of pain. You had to have lost something in order to gain that. And I want you to pause because I want you to think about what it is that you had to lose in order for yourself to gain. What pain did you have to go through to gain? You had to let go of something to gain. And then I want you to pause and think about, what is this teaching me? And for some of us, it's going to be super clear. It's going to be super clear, right? Because we don't see a lot of times, we don't see things in the moment and in the present. We see them in when we connect the dots backwards, right? And I want to give you an example how this can be applicable. And so many of us as business owners, say, man, I'm glad that didn't happen, that I had to let go of that, because if I didn't, then this would have happened. Or I'm glad that didn't happen. I had to let go of that because I gained this, right? So I want you to pause and I want you to reflect and I want you to think. And the reason why is because you need to get something from your pain. Something came out of that pain. Something came out of that letting go. And the third thing that I want us to do when utilizing the power of letting go is I want us to ask for help. Some of us are in a position where we need to ask for help. And that's okay, because whenever you ask for help, what you're doing is you're making yourself seen and you're also making those around you seen. I think we're all generally wired to help others. We're put on this earth to love and to help others. And by us asking for help, we are making not only ourselves seen to the person that we're asking for help, but we're making them seen because we are confident in them and we respect their help and we want their help. And they are wired to help us. So I'm going to generally talk about what we talked about today. And I went over a lot. I went over a lot of different examples, but I think each of these examples can go steps and steps further. But this is just going to be a general episode in that I'm speaking to some of you today because there's something you've been pondering, that you've been thinking about, that you've been scared to let go. And I'm telling you, whether it be your limiting beliefs and your habits and your talking to yourselves, what you say to yourself, whether it be, letting go of toxic relationships, letting go control, letting go of perfection, letting go of your comparison to others, letting go of the fear that you have with change, letting go of junk food, fast food, alcohol, things that are toxic to your body. There's one more that I want to talk about. And I think this one, we can probably do like 10 episodes on this one. But there is so much power in letting go of ego. And I say that humbly, and I say that respectfully, and I say that because I think some of you need to hear that. Letting go of ego. What do I gain? I gain the respect of others. I gain the blessings of my business. I gain the blessings of my God, right? I gain the ability to grow, because I think a lot of times our ego doesn't let us grow, right? Like, I made it to the top. I've done X, Y, and Z. And I say this from a business perspective, but I also say it from like a family and a mom and a friend. Like, we gain humility when we let go of our ego. But there's so much power to be said with that. We gain connection with others, right? We're all equal. We genuinely are all equal. We all answer to a higher power. Very brief on that one, on letting go of the ego, but some of you need to hear that. Because I know myself, I've had to hear it multiple times, in these last few months, right? Letting go of the ego, letting go of control, as I mentioned earlier. But really, I'm speaking to some of you, and I'm speaking from a place of love, and I'm speaking from the heart. But some of you needed to hear that today. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to message me, and I want you to tell me. I want you to own up that thing that you paused for, that first thing that came to your mind. Message me and say, Genny, I'm letting go of, because I want to cheer for you. I want to encourage you. I want you to see the light that you will get and what you will gain from letting go of that thing that's hurting you. It's not a loss, guys. It's a gain. We gain when we lose. Always. There's never a loss that's a loss. There's a loss that's a gain on the other side. Letting go is not a sign of weakness. It's a statement. It's a testament to our inner strength and resilience. When we release what no longer serves us, we create space for growth, joy, and abundance in life. What we're doing is we're embracing positive change by letting go. And guys, when we do that, it's such a great feeling to see what you gain. It's so empowering. And it's hard. I know sometimes in the moment it's so hard, but let me just tell you, from somebody that has seen it time and time again in my life, when I let go of things, I always gain something, and it's always what I needed to gain. So guys, I'm excited to hear your messages. I'm excited to see what you're letting go of, because I'm excited to share with you what you are going to gain. So until next time, guys, keep shining bright. And here's my prediction. What some of you are going to gain from this episode. Some of you are going to gain peace. Some of you are going to gain less anxiety. Some of you are going to gain growth. Some of you are going to gain willpower. Some of you are going to gain love. Some of you are going to gain vision and light. Some of you are going to gain humility. But guys, I can go on and on and on about the list, or on a list, or a list of ideas and things, and of what we are going to gain when we let go. It sounds terrible. I know it does. But guess what? All of those things and so much more are there when we let go. We are going to gain, if not more, back. You hear that clap? That's me cheering you on for completing another episode. I don't know about you, but man, that was quick. If you like what you heard, hit the subscribe button, or share the episode with someone you think that might need a little spark. And help us grow by leaving a review. Remember, keep sparking that radiance from within. Until next time, shine on!